What if I told you that a quarter you might have ignored for years, a simple coin from 2004, could actually be hiding a story filled with rare mint mistakes, secret collector demand, and auction prices that shocked even seasoned experts across the United States? Before you spend another state quarter, take a second look at the 2004 Iowa State Quarter, because somewhere out there, a tiny detail most people never notice has turned an everyday coin into a serious collector's prize. And the craziest part is that some of these coins are still floating around in pocket change, waiting for someone curious enough to spot the difference. Picture the early 2000s when the US Mint launched the famous 50 state quarters program. People who had never cared about coins suddenly started checking their change, kids were filling collector maps, and families were searching for missing states together. Then came the Iowa Quarter, released in 2004 as part of this historic program. Millions were struck at the Denver Mint, each stamped with the small D mint mark that today sends collectors into detective mode. At first glance, it looked like any other modern quarter, but hidden within those millions were tiny differences that would eventually spark excitement across the collecting world. Flip the coin over in your imagination. You see a peaceful classroom scene inspired by a one-room schoolhouse, a teacher guiding students beneath a tree, and the phrase "Foundation in Education." The design reflects Iowa's deep roots in learning and progress, representing the state of Iowa as a place where knowledge shaped generations. The texture feels sharp when uncirculated, the details crisp, the field smooth like glass. Under bright light, the coin glows with a silvery sheen, but subtle imperfections sometimes hide within the design lines, and that is where the real story begins. When collectors first began studying the 2004 Iowa Quarter, most assumed it was common. After all, millions were minted. But as months turned into years, hobbyists started noticing strange anomalies. Some coins showed doubling in the lettering, others had unusual die cracks running across the design, and a few revealed faint extra impressions that created ghost-like outlines on the reverse. These were not obvious errors, they were the kind you only spot if you slow down and really examine the coin. Suddenly, what once seemed ordinary began to feel like a puzzle waiting to be solved. One collector from Ohio shared a story that spread like wildfire through online coin forums. He had received a roll of state quarters from his bank and almost spent them on coffee. Something about one Iowa quarter caught his eye. The lettering looked slightly thicker, almost double. After sending it for professional grading, the coin came back as a rare double die variety. The final auction price stunned everyone who followed the story. What began as pocket change turned into a major payday, and a lesson that small details matter more than most people realize. The obverse of the coin carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan decades earlier. His profile appears calm and confident, but collectors pay close attention to the tiniest features around his hair and lettering. Slight doubling or unusual strike pressure in this area can dramatically increase the coin's desirability. Some 2004 quarters show small imperfections near the motto or date, tiny flaws that transform a simple design into a rare collectible. As the years passed, more surprising discoveries surfaced. A woman cleaning out her late grandfather's garage found an old jar filled with state quarters. Among them were several Iowa quarters with noticeable die cracks running across the reverse seam. Instead of dismissing them, she took photos and posted them online. Within days, collectors were offering to buy them. Coins eventually sold as a group to a specialist who focused on modern mint errors. What had been forgotten change sitting on a dusty shelf became a meaningful financial boost for her family. The excitement grew when auction houses began highlighting exceptional high-grade examples. While most circulated coins remain worth face value, a near-perfect uncirculated 2004 Iowa quarter graded at the highest levels can bring surprisingly strong prices. Collectors compete fiercely for coins with flawless surfaces, full luster, and razor-sharp detail. Each microscopic mark matters. The difference between a common coin and a premium specimen can be nearly invisible to the naked eye, yet the price gap can be enormous. One of the most dramatic auction stories involved a pristine example discovered in an unopened mint set. The owner had purchased the set years earlier and forgot about it in a drawer. When rediscovered, the coin's condition was so exceptional that grading experts called it one of the finest known examples. Bidding wars erupted among collectors seeking the best possible state quarter for their collections. Watching the price climb in real time felt like witnessing history unfold. Collectors also compare common versions against rare varieties to understand value. A heavily circulated Iowa quarter might show worn edges, flat details, and dull surfaces. In contrast, a rare error coin can display unusual doubling, off-center strikes, or tiny die clashes that create unique patterns. The thrill lies in learning how to tell the difference. Many people unknowingly carry valuable coins because they never learned what to look for. Another fascinating aspect of the 2004 Iowa quarter is how modern coin collecting has evolved. Social media and online marketplaces allow collectors to share discoveries instantly. Someone finds an unusual mint mark alignment, posts a photo, and within hours experts around the country weigh in. This rapid communication has transformed the hobby into a global treasure hunt, where knowledge spreads quickly and hidden gems are discovered more often. Imagine sitting at your kitchen table with a pile of loose change, examining each coin under a small magnifying glass. The light reflects off the metal, revealing tiny scratches and subtle textures. Suddenly, one coin looks slightly different. The lettering appears thicker, the design lines slightly double. Your heart races as you realize you might be holding something rare. That feeling of discovery is what keeps collectors coming back again and again. Even professional numismatists admit that modern coins like the Iowa quarter can be surprisingly complex. Production speed, die wear, and minor mechanical shifts at the mint sometimes create unexpected results. These tiny variations are the secret ingredients that transform mass-produced coins into collectible treasures. Each coin tells a story of the moment it was struck, the machinery used, and the hands that handled it afterward. There is also a psychological element that drives demand. People love the idea that valuable coins might still be hiding in everyday places. The State Quarter series reached millions of Americans who had never considered coin collecting before. Many of those coins remain tucked away in jars, drawers, and forgotten collections. Every time a new discovery is announced, curiosity spreads and more people start searching their own change. As the market matured, certain Iowa quarter varieties gained reputations among specialists. Coins with dramatic die cracks resembling tree branches became particularly popular because they enhanced the educational theme of the design. Others with unusual luster patterns created by minting pressure developed a loyal following among advanced collectors who appreciate subtle technical details. Stories continue to emerge. A college student reportedly found a high-grade example while working a part-time job as a cashier. Instead of spending the coin, he researched it, learned about grading, and eventually sold it to help pay tuition. Another collector inherited a small box of state quarters and discovered one with a rare off-center strike that quickly attracted bidders online. Each story reinforces the idea that remarkable finds can happen to anyone paying attention. As you think about your own coins, consider how many times you've received change without looking closely. The Iowa quarter blends into everyday life so easily that its potential often goes unnoticed. Yet within those ordinary surfaces lies a world of tiny differences that only reveal themselves to curious eyes. The more you learn, the more you start seeing coins not as spare change but as miniature pieces of history. Toward the higher end of the market, exceptional specimens have reached impressive prices at auction, especially those with unique errors combined with near-perfect condition. While most examples remain affordable, the rarest versions continue to surprise collectors with strong demand and rising values. The excitement builds each time a new record sale appears, reminding everyone that the search is far from over. Now imagine opening a forgotten jar at home and discovering several Iowa quarters. You begin examining them one by one, checking the mint mark, studying the lettering, looking for unusual features. That quiet moment of investigation transforms into a thrilling treasure hunt. Whether you find a rare variety or simply gain a deeper appreciation for the coin's design and history, the experience changes how you see everyday objects. The 2004 Iowa State Quarter is more than just a piece of metal. It represents a time when Americans rediscovered the joy of collecting, when children and adults alike searched their pockets for missing states, and when tiny mint errors turned into exciting discoveries. Each coin carries the possibility of something unexpected, something hidden beneath the surface waiting for someone curious enough to notice. So before you spend another quarter, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, examine the lettering, look for doubling, cracks, or anything that feels slightly different. The next great discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now, quietly waiting to be recognized. Valuable coins are still out there, hidden in plain sight, and the thrill of finding one belongs to anyone willing to pay attention. Stay curious, stay observant, and remember that sometimes the smallest piece of change can hold the biggest surprise.